Good evening and welcome to Up South on the 1st of December 2014. A little later on in the broadcast, we'll have a special report from Vijayawada, which is fast acquiring the reputation of being a city of missing children. Also how ISRO chairman Dr. Radhakrishnan is showing off his musical side quite literally. But our top story today is from Tamil Nadu, where the income tax case against the AIDMK Supremo and former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha, is slowly inching to a close, with the former Chief Minister paying 1.98 crore rupees as compounding fee. This will pave the way to drop criminal proceedings against her and her friend Shashikala. The payment charges includes compounding fee, establishment and litigation charges. Jayalalitha and Shashikala are facing chases for their alleged willful failure to file tax returns for the years 92-93 and 1993-94, which is a punishable offence under the IT Act. The Central Board of Direct Taxes has already accepted Jaya's plea for compounding the offence and settling the matter with a fine. Now from Chennai is DMK Organizing Secretary Mr. T.K. Selangovan. Also Suman C. Raman, political analyst, joins me from Chennai. Also I will be joined live from Chennai by my colleague Shisha Reddy. Mr. Selangovan, to you first. Many would see this as some kind of a bailing out of Jayalalitha by apparently a friendly BJP government at the centre. Is that the way the DMK also sees it?
See, I think Jayalalitha had applied for compounding of income tax as per Income Tax Act, as per provisions of the Income Tax Act. We cannot say that the government had done any favour, but anyhow, the admission by Jayalalitha that she was willing to compound and it contradicts from her earlier claim that she had not earned, and she in fact wanted the government to drop the case. She went up to Supreme Court to say that she had not committed any offence and the case should be dropped. But ultimately she had agreed that he had committed the offence and sought compounding of tax, which means she had agreed to the offence which she had committed.
Right. Mr. Suman C. Raman, would you also agree with what Mr. Selangovan has to say, that there is perhaps nothing really to read between the lines, that there is really nothing cooking between the BJP and the AIDMK?
No, I don't see this as a political issue at all. I think that this is a case of non-filing of returns which has been going on for a very long time, and as long as settling this issue by paying a penalty is within the due process of law and it is accepted by the department, I would not attribute any political motives to it. The key question that we have to keep in mind is this option available to other citizens? And to the best of my knowledge, it is. It is a fairly routine process that those who delay filing of returns or don't file returns are able to settle this by paying a penalty. And if that is the case, then she has not been treated different from any other citizen, and that is perfectly acceptable.
Right. Shisha Reddy, there Suman C. Raman and Mr. Selangovan making the point that there is really nothing political about this gesture of the CBDT as far as Jayalalitha is concerned. But we are obviously reading political motives because elections are due in Tamil Nadu in another 1.5 years. So is there anything to read between the lines as far as an order of the CBDT is concerned?
Well, Sudhir, very unlikely, because as far as Jayalalitha is concerned and also as far as the centre is concerned, the Modi government is concerned, we have been seeing, even in the past when BJP was looking to moving closely towards AIDMK, and again when Jayalalitha said that they would be going alone, and that's when she won 37 seats. On the mere, yes, on the floor of the House in Rajya Sabha, yes, there might be some sort of opinion that BJP might be seeking from the AIDMK, but on the other hand, as far as the 2016 elections are concerned, it's very unlikely that BJP would be moving close to Jayalalitha, or they see this as an option for the 2016 elections. Having said that, BJP has been saying there is a grand alliance that was formed in 2011. So when that itself is strong, why would they go and approach Jayalalitha? And also to make another point that, talking about Modi's background of the political ambitions, and as far as Jayalalitha's stature is concerned, it's very unlikely that BJP and ADMK would come close for the 2016 elections.
Right, Shisha, thanks a lot for joining us from Chennai. Mr. Elangovan, even if we do not really read too much between the lines as far as this case is concerned, would you say that the BJP is more open to doing business with the AIADMK than with the DMK, given the fact that the BJP was really at the forefront of its attack as far as the 2G case was concerned?
This cannot be deemed as BJP coming close to Jayalalitha. This is an individual, independent thing with regard to a crime or an offence committed by Jayalalitha, and the government had acted as per law. That doesn't mean that the BJP wants to favour Jayalalitha or support Jayalalitha. I don't think politically, when I look at the issue, they are at loggerheads. Both the parties are not seeing eye to eye. The government of Tamil Nadu attacking the government of India, the government of the BJP people attacking the ADMK rule here. I don't think they are looking eye to eye on many of the issues.
Right, Mr. Sumansi Raman, final word to you. Given the fact that the BJP plans to do an Ekla Chalo Re in most states, as we saw in Maharashtra, do you see the possibility of any kind of electoral understanding between the BJP and the AIADMK ahead of the 2016 Assembly elections in Tamil Nadu?
As far as the 2016 Assembly elections are concerned, the approach of the BJP and the AIADMK will both depend on a few factors. First, the performance of the Modi government at the centre between now and then.
Right.
The performance of the AIADMK government in Tamil Nadu. And obviously what happens to the case, the conviction matter of Ms. Jayalalitha. So without knowing more about each of these three issues, I think it's way too premature to be speaking about an alliance or a tie-up between the BJP and the AIADMK.
Right, absolutely, Mr. Sumansi Raman. Mr. Elangovan, thanks a lot for joining us there from Chennai. Tamil Nadu politics always makes for a fascinating study. Now for a very disturbing report from Vijayawada, the new capital of the state of Andhra Pradesh. The city reports the highest number of cases of missing children every day, and the police there suspects that abduction is carried out by gangs involved in begging or prostitution. Ratnika Sharma has a special report from Vijayawada.
It has been 1 week since Tirupatama's 4-year-old daughter Kavya went missing. She had gone to answer nature's call near the lake adjoining their house in Vijayawada. That was the last time her mother saw her.
ఈలోగా అటు నుంచి ఎర్ర కారు వచ్చిందంట. ఆ కారు వాళ్ళే తీసుకెళ్లారని మా అనుమానం. పోలీసు ఎంక్వైరీలు తెస్తున్నాం, అమ్మాయి వెతుకుతున్నాం అని చెబుతున్నారు.
Kavya is yet another statistic in the Hall of Shame in Vijayawada that reports the highest number of missing children in Andhra Pradesh. According to Childline, an organization that works for the protection of child rights, more than 2,300 cases of missing children has been reported in the city since 2009. More than 50% of such cases are girls.
Like 5-year-old Bhavni, who went missing last month after she went to buy some grocery item at a store in the neighborhood next to her home. Her mother Lakshmi, a domestic help, is distraught.
అంతకన్నా ఎక్కువ మేము ఆలోచన చేయలే 10 నిమిషాలే ఇంకా లేటు ఆ సందులో అటు పోతే ఇల్లు దగ్గర వచ్చుద్ది ఇటు చూస్తే కొట్టు మధ్యలోనే మా పాప పోయింది ఎవరు తీసుకెళ్లారో ఏది తెలియదు ఇంతవరకు ఎవరు చెప్పిన వాళ్ళు లేరు ఆచూకీ రాలేదు.
The Vijayawada police suspects the recent cases are a handiwork of gangs involved in trafficking of children for begging or sex work.
Taking away children from unsuspecting parents is not a new phenomenon. It's been happening for quite a few years now. Gangs have been operating, and the last gang that was caught in Kodad of Nalgonda district about a year and a half ago, they used to take away these children to sell them for adoption.
We are thinking some special gangs maybe they are doing like this. Another part of this, we can say both boys and girls are missing.
Vijayawada is a busy rail and road junction that makes a getaway easier for the abductors. The Supreme Court in fact took a very serious view of police inaction in tracing out missing children after it was informed that in the last 3 years, more than 1,000 children went missing from undivided Andhra Pradesh. With Ratnika Sharma in Vijayawada, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Joining me now from Vijayawada is my colleague Ratnika Sharma, also child rights activist Isidore Phillips joining me from Hyderabad. To Isidore Phillips, to you first, some statistics here from the Ministry of Child Affairs. 1 lakh children go missing in India every year. One child goes missing in India every 8 minutes. Very disturbing stats there, Isidore. Despite the Supreme Court directive, nothing really seems to have changed on the ground.
Unfortunate that it hasn't changed. One priority, basically, if you look at the Supreme Court guidelines, it's also talking about every police station. According to Juvenile Justice Act, Article 63, we are supposed to say there is a designated police officer, child welfare officer in each police station. At every district level, there is supposed to be special juvenile police unit who are specifically trained in handling the issues of children. Now, this is the basic minimum police infrastructure that is required to be able to look at children in need of care and protection, and either it is non-existent or on paper, and if the infrastructure itself to address it is weak enough, then you know what we are actually getting.
Ratnika, you met the parents of those children who have gone missing, some for even a month. You also been talking to people there in Vijayawada. Now, is there a sense of fear among these parents there in the city that anytime any child goes out of the home, he or she could actually be some kind of a target for these gangs who seem to be on the prowl in Vijayawada all the time?
Definitely, Sudhir, there is a sense of fear not only among those parents whose children have gone missing, but also those around them, because remember, most of the children that went missing belong to the economically weaker sections of the society, and for their parents the grief is no less. In fact, they're hopeful that their children will come back to them one day and the police will be able to find them one day. But there are two streams of thought here, Sudhir. One, that the child rights activists and the NGO members believe and they feel that it's the prerogative of the society at large to ensure that the children are safe, right from the parents to teachers and the welfare organizations like theirs, so that the kids are not forced into prostitution or beggary, and that addresses the problem at the beginning itself. On the other hand, the police, even though they suspect that it is the handiwork of a beggary mafia that's operating in and around Vijayawada, they also feel that the need of the hour is to address the disease and not the symptoms. In that they mean that the rehabilitation process has to be strengthened and the appropriate monetary, institutional and infrastructural support has to be given to this rehabilitation system, because what happens even when the children are rescued because of lack of proper rehabilitation shelters, they go back to this prostitution and beggary system, and there is no way they can come out of this vicious cycle, which is why the need of the hour, as the police say, is to really strengthen the rehabilitation process. Back to you, Sudhir.
Right, Ratnika, thanks a lot for joining us there from Vijayawada. Isidore Phillips, stay on with us. We reported on Saturday about this incident which took place at the Pragati Mahavidyalaya College in Hyderabad, where a second-year BCom student was killed inside the classroom by his senior because he objected to the evening that the senior had done of one of the students. In fact, the students at the college have been an agitated lot demanding action against the senior, who has been charged with murder, and also the college management, which they allege has been turning a blind eye to such incidents of eve-teasing inside the college.
I request management to take severe action against that, Satish. I have even been requesting all the ACP and all the police staff to take a severe punishment on that, Satish. And I request principal sir not to support him and say that it happened unfortunately. It didn't happen unfortunately. It happened wantedly. He was very much anger, with his anger he beat him. How could a person bear such high beatings? He was just sitting and writing his notes in classroom. Was it a wrong thing? Or asking a question to senior, why are you teasing a girl?
Isidore Phillips, what does this really convey, this kind of a murder taking place inside a classroom, lower tolerance levels, or is it acceptance of a violence generally in society?
I think one, we are looking, suddenly everybody seems to be talking about violence. My question the children today and the young people today are exposed to increasing amount of violence in the home and in the family. Two very important social agencies, the home, the school. And I think if children are learning right from childhood that violence is okay, a teacher can use it to bring in discipline, a parent can use it to be able to teach a child, then a child perhaps subtly is also learning that violence is okay to achieve what you want to achieve. That is one part of the story. The second part of the story is, I think we are focused on the larger mass media of saying it's mass media out there. But I think it's mass media as much as also about us. The culture of violence that we are propagating everywhere, that we are kind of justifying, is perhaps sending a subtle message saying violence is okay to achieve what you want to do.
Now, for the past few months, ISRO chairman Dr. K Radhakrishnan has been complimented for the success of the Mars orbiter mission. But he does know a world beyond the world of space, the world of Carnatic music. Pratibha Raman has a special report from Bengaluru.
Dr. K Radhakrishnan, chairman of the Indian Space Research Organisation, clearly knows how to hit the right notes, both in the Martian orbits and here in Bangalore. A well-known classical musician, Dr. Radhakrishnan, it is quite obvious, is at home as much in the world of music as he is in the world of planets and rockets.
It's a different world. I'm a student of music. I still continue to study and then perform. It relieves a lot of stress from me, and I'm passionate about music.
And as Dr. Radhakrishnan rendered this composition in his favourite Bhairavi Rag, there were many appreciative nods as well.
Anything in Bhairavi Ragam. And I sang today. That is Angaragam Ashrayambiham Vinadashradanam Shradajana Mandara.
It was indeed an outstanding scientist giving an outstanding concert. Science and art go together, and that is what is proved in today's concert.
It is quite a sight to see India's spaceman making the space and time to pursue and practice another very difficult craft. Or perhaps this is Dr. Radhakrishnan's way of saying that India's space program is on song. With camera person Madhu, Pratibha Raman, Bangalore, Headlines Today.
So on that musical note, we come to the end of today's edition of Up South.